this is Shye, and I'm in the basement with JaVonne.
Hi, this is Nhojj, and I'm in the basement with JaVonne.
Hey everybody, I decided that today I would actually come outside the basement to do my recording of the show. I'm coming out to support some friends of mine, Jay, Shye, Nhojj, and the Artisan Collective. We're here on Halsey Street in Newark, New Jersey, 25 Halsey. You gotta come down, they got some fabulous stuff. Come with me. Okay, so I'm here at the Artisan Collective, Crack the Mic, and one of the co-hosts of the show is a friend of mine, Shye. Real cool, not really shy, but they call her Shye. Are you really shy?
Yes, very shy.
Really?
Yeah, very shy, very introverted, very to myself.
Very introverted, very to yourself?
Yeah, but I like to share me to the world sometimes, so.
Yeah. All right, so I've listened to some of your poetry, and your poetry doesn't sound like it comes from someplace shy. It sounds like a place of strength and fierceness. Warrior woman, even.
My poetry comes from the need to speak for women, young ladies, young girls who maybe can't speak for themselves. So when I'm writing, if I'm writing for women, then, you know, I have to find that strength. So they become my strength, and they make me strong. So, you know, when I'm writing for a woman and I want to talk about how she was abused in a relationship or whatever, I want to show that she was strong enough to get out of that, not that it beat her down or destroyed her. So you can't speak those kind of pieces from a place of shy. You know, so.
When did you first get the name Shye? Where did that come from?
That's a crazy story. I was involved with my friend Rainier in a site called P Minor Poetry, something like that. And you had to create a username. So I made my username Shye NJ Poet. And everyone on the site cut off the NJ Poet and took to calling me Shye. And it just stuck. And I said, okay, that pretty much describes who I am, so I'll keep it.
Wow.
Yeah, and later on I added the E on the end for dramatic effect.
It works. It works. When you see the name Shye with the E at the end, it's kind of hot. I have to admit that was very nice. Very nice.
So actually someone else named me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's usually how it works though, right?
Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Were you shy as a little kid?
Yes, I was always the quiet one with the ready smile, but I didn't say much. I'm an observer by nature, you know, so I have a belief that if you're talking, you're not listening, and you're not observing, you can't see what's going on around you. And because of situations my mother was in, I always paid attention to life around me, so it made me a very quiet child. Plus I was the baby with two older brothers who loved to harass me thoroughly, so yeah, I was quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The writing, when did that start?
The writing started when I was 12. I wrote a piece, and one of my aunts found it, and she gathered all of my cousins together for a suicide intervention.
Wow.
And I said, what is wrong with all of you? And she said, well, we read your note. And we just want you to know that we're there for you and we love you. And if you ever need us and this. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And to be absolutely honest with you, I still don't know the piece because they would never give it back to me. They wanted to keep it. And so from one of my aunts pulled me to the side and said, this is poetry. You're a writer, you're a poet. And I continued to write, but I still didn't call it poetry. It just was my journal, let's say.
Wow.
Let's say, yeah. But that was interesting. That was funny.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. See, usually those kind of writings come from a dark place, you know, a place of pain,
Right.
a place of hurt, and, you know, somebody experiences something and their outlet
Right.
is writing. Like
Right.
for me, sometimes, most of the time, if I write a song or something, it's coming from a place of not necessarily pain, but something
Right.
I feel deeply.
Right. And I felt deeply for, like I said, my mother's situation. She went through a lot to love my father. And I was just telling somebody, I believe that that's why essentially I'm gay, because I always wanted to treat a woman right, you know, and so that's where a lot of my poetry came from, seeing the pain and hurt in my mother's face, and, you know, aunts and uncles, and, you know, things they go through, and, you know, my grandfather loved my grandmother, but 15 minutes before he came home, she knew to get that whole house silent, you know, and that was interesting to me. You know, the kids had to be fed and put away, and the house had to be clean, and dinner had to be ready, and I just noticed you've been a mad woman all day, and as soon as this man, 15 minutes before he come in the door, you get straight and narrow, and that was interesting to me. You know, so like I said, I was an observer, and I saw a lot with the women in my family, like they taught the boys how to pay bills. They taught the boys how to get out and go to work. But my mother never gave me the money to go pay bills because that's not what women needed to learn. And so, you know, the dynamics of my family was painful. I guess you could say it's painful. I've been through things in my life. Like I was talking to a friend a couple of weeks ago who said to me, oh, well, you never been through that particular situation. I said, well, yes, I have. And, you know, they said, I can't tell, you know. And so I started telling them that the best way, in my opinion, to get back at somebody, the best revenge in the world to me is success.
That's what I tell the kids in my family. That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah. I mean, you can't let someone know that raping you or touching you or stealing from you or destroying your childhood destroyed your adult life. You know, and that's the purpose of my writing too, a lot too. You can't let someone win in that way. For someone to be 40 years later and going on with their life and happy and married or dead and gone, and you're still suffering in the same place. The person is not here to apologize. Who would know if they would apologize?
Right.
You have to find your own strength to go on, to let go. So that's who I speak for nowadays when I write.
Yeah, and that's very powerful, you know. It's very powerful. They say 1 out of every 4 little girls experience something traumatic in that vein.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. And you know, I read something crazy on Facebook, and I said, you know, that's a joke, but it was absolutely correct. They said, if every little girl that was raped is now gay, imagine how many gay women there really would be.
You know, but I thought that's amazing. You know, that's a very profound thing to say, because
that's
like to
profound.
blame everything for why you are who you are.
Yeah.
You know, especially when your family don't know you, like they think they know you. They know the 10-year-old you or even the 7-year-old you. Most people don't know the 18-year-old you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or especially not the 40-year-old you. So
Right.
when they look at you and see these things, they like to say, what could have happened to her in her childhood that did this?
Yeah.
Maybe it was nothing.
Right. Maybe.
Maybe. You know, it's not always. I just thought she was cuter than he was.
Let's talk about a book you were recently published in. What's up with that?
I I figured I'd step out on a limb. I've never been published before, and I want to start taking chances. This year, 2012, has been my year of chances. You see my hair. 2012 has been my year of chances, so I just stepped out on faith and I submitted 3 poems involving, I think the subject matter was pain. And so I just submitted 3 poems, and they chose one called, I don't remember the name of it. When I remember, I'll tell you.
Okay.
And the cleansing, yeah, they chose one, and it's amazing the one they chose to use, because everyone that reads it tells me it either needs to be turned into a play or a book. So I attempted to write a play for it. The play turned into a novel. So I'm halfway through the novel on that now. But I believe that this particular poem, The Cleansing, is going to crawl like a baby and then begin to walk and step out on his own. I think this poem is going to go far beyond me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's my baby.
But it's not like you haven't written a play before.
Yeah, I did write, I did write with Mickey and Kevin Taylor, and that was an interestingly fun process. We met on Skype, we met at, in the church, we met, you name it. We just like, okay, we're gonna meet and write tonight. Okay, we got this piece together, okay, we got that piece together, and I tell you, to see Sugar Free come to life on stage, and it was a dramatic read, it wasn't even an actual, we didn't get to memorize and act out. It was a dramatic read. Everyone had a script. It was a beautiful thing to see. It was beautiful to watch. And to, I don't know, I know you've written a lot of songs, and, you know, but to hear people on stage saying words that you know you were up at 4 o'clock in the morning writing, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was one of the best feelings of my life. Yeah. I'll do that again in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that Sugar Free may be hitting the road, traveling.
I've heard snippets of that too. And if I can ever verify it, I'm packing my bags and hitting the road with it. I really want to see that.
It was excellent. It was excellent,
Yeah.
And everybody should see it. If it does come to your town, you know, definitely see it. Sugar Free.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful.
So let's talk about Crack the Mic. What's up with this? What are you doing here?
Jay came to me and said, Shye, I want to do a set in our space. And I said, okay, I'm going to come with my 2-3 little poems and we're going to ride this out. And Jay said, no, I would like you to be more involved in that. And I thought it was interesting, so I listened to her take on what she wanted Crack the Mic to be, and I felt it. You know, I felt the space when I walked in here for the first time. Immediately felt this was the perfect space for this type of thing. It feels like home. It feels like couch with your friends, or, you know, it's just this is a nice environment. And I started reaching out to people that I knew, and she gave me a list of people that she may have wanted to see on Crack the Mic, so I reached out to those people. And the way I approached these people is I told them, these artists, I wanted to look like whatever you want it to look like. This is not a set structure, this is not an open mic, this is not a poetry cafe. I don't want anyone to come in here this month and say, it's the same experience I had last month. Mm-hmm. The first month we had Butterfly Soul, and he did comedy for 45 minutes. And that was interesting, you know, and then he did poetry, and then he did song, you know. And the next month we had an open mic and we had the poets, but whatever you want your set to look like, that's what I'm saying to these artists. If you want to come in here and people sit on the couch and you talk back to them, don't talk to them. You know, like Patti LaBelle does. You know, let me tell you what happened to me yesterday. You know, so I just wanted it to be the most comfortable experience an artist has ever had. You know, so, and I saw Jay's vision and we just worked it out. And then we've been blessed. We've been blessed. We actually have Cracked the Mic full until April of 2013.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So many people agreed to come on board with the love. It's amazing. Amazing.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck. Not that you need luck, but the best of success. Crack the Mic.
Crack the Mic. And I heard her say,
And I heard her say, I'd rather kill her myself than see him return to school teaching. And I understood that. Like the whips on her back given for not being a good nigga. You see, this way backwood nigga understood something that we've forgotten today. That believers you made this shit was not given for free. Somebody died for the freedoms we now neglect. Like walking to the back of the bus with your do-rag, letting your pants sag, praising 20-inch rims like God had anything to do with winning the Grammy for calling women bitches and hoes. For popping bottles and making it rain at strip shows, but you do the math. And I heard him say, I whooped the black off their asses before I let them become slaves to drug and street life. New masters controlling old whips, keeping them bound and hung from ganja trees. And I felt that. I felt that like satin sheets on scorched flesh, cool to the touch. Inferno raging inside nonetheless, like anger left unattended, cluttered in minds. No clear pet road to peace, spilling in mud puddles. I understood that like her allowing herself to become fat, in hopes of never appearing beautiful in the wrong eyes again. With sweaty limbs tackling her body, finding pleasure in what could never be pleasurable to its victim. Swallowed whole by lust and set out like trash. So she showers for 40 days and 40 nights, hoping to wash away what 40 acres in the mule could never replace. Herself. And I heard him say, I'd rather disown my baby than accept her being gay. And I understood that. So I proceeded to say, yeah, maybe she is better off dead. Oh, don't look at me that way. I mean, that has to be better than being enslaved to your version of her life. Let her take a knife to her own throat and cut out everything that is unlike the dreams you formulated before she was even born. Foregone memories of a life that was never to be because her plan superseded yours. Let the bars of what you want bind her no longer. I guess in death she'll be stronger. I mean, how could she want to be that way? Gay. With the perfect example Daddy gave, with a fist to your face and a loving arm around your waist and the footprints on your heart for all the people you've allowed to trample this way. God forbid she was born that way. Groomed in the womb to love with colorblind and genderless eyes. To see beauty in new unwritten pages. Or her future landing on whatever solid ground, wishing flowers blue. You see, the problem is you wanted her to be you. The you never knew. The you hide behind tears and fears and 12-hour work days to provide for her. And this is how she pays you back. All I'm saying is, if you think the worst thing that could happen to you is finding out that your child is gay, imagine being Tyler Clemente's mom. Imagine being bullied by street thugs. Then running home to your family's little plugs at your manhood or damning you to dyke hell. See, this is what I need you to do. Ask God for an expansion loan. Then open your little mind to the possibility of loving your gay child. Because we've been enslaved way too long to allow us to cage our children's minds.
Hey, I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. And after that, we'll have a brief interview with my main man, Nhojj. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Artisan Collective. So glad to have you here this evening. And Artisan Collective is located at 25 Halsey Street in Newark, New Jersey, and we have something for everybody. And during the week, from hours 12 to 6, we sell all types of bags and clothing and jewelry. We have something for everybody. Everything is custom made. And it's owned by 5 partners who have known each other for a minimum of 15 years. So you know the store is for you and everything is personal. So come and see us at the Artisan Collective.
Did you know that you could advertise your product, your CD, your event, your show, or whatever else it is that you want to present to the world right here in the basement with JaVonne? Just hit me up at stonymay@gmail.com and I'll let you know the details privately. That's stonymay, STONEYMAE @gmail.com. And this spot right here could be yours. Hit me up. Nhojj. I don't know if you've ever heard of Nhojj, and if you haven't, then you must be sleeping under a rock. This is Nhojj. Nhojj is a wonderful and talented musician. How you doing, baby?
I'm good. I'm so great. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for allowing me to interview you. It's good to see you again. You know, you look good. You're sweet. You're always sweet.
Thank you.
You know? So, I want to talk about some things with you that are a little bit out of the ordinary. Everybody knows. Well, everybody should know, Nhojj has won like 100 OMA awards. Those are Out Music Awards, right?
Yeah.
Which I wanted to tell you, one of your songs,
Live Your Life.
Your Life, OMG. That song, it's fabulous. If you don't have it, Live Your Life by Nhojj, get it, and get it soon. And you're going to be playing it and playing and playing it. I'm telling you.
Good.
That song is fierce. That song is fierce. But what I want to talk to you about is something that I read, which is that you were born in Guyana. Is that true? So from there, how did you get here to where you are now?
So when I got to college, after high school, after I graduated from high school, I had relatives living here in New York, and I came up so I could study and do the whole education thing. And after that, I was like, okay, now that I'm taking care of that education requirement, I can do what I love, which is music.
Yes, and wait, speaking of education, you got a degree in economics?
Yeah, I have a degree.
See, I did my homework, man. Economics, why economics?
Well, I didn't know anything about the way the business world operated, and so I figured, if you're gonna study something, might as well learn something that that I was interested in instead of just doing something because it could get me a job. So
let me ask you, does that help you in your music career?
it helps in kind of looking, because it's very theoretical. It's not like practical stuff. It's not like an MBA. So it's like a lot of theoretical stuff. So it's just a way of seeing the world, how the financial world operates, and what kind of causes things to happen. Just kind of general overlay. So it does help in that kind of
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I also read. See, I've been reading about you now. I've been doing my homework. And is it true that your father is a pastor or a preacher? So, what was that like, being the PK, the preacher's kid?
It was a lot of things. My brother, I was my brother for Thanksgiving, and we were talking about this. So it has its perks, you're the pastor's kid, you get all the love and attention and all that stuff is nice. I started singing in church, so that was a good way to kind of, the church is very supportive, so if you're going to start something like singing, it's great to be in that environment.
Yes.
So it was great for that. But then you have the other things, like the strict, home environment, all the rules that you had to follow, and which, I was never great at following strict religious rules. I was always...
You don't want to color in the lines or anything.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, following rules, I'm just going to jump straight into the whole marriage equality thing and the fight that you've been fighting. Your wonderful song, Amazing Grace, the remake of that, which is another song that you ought to hurry up and go buy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You are using proceeds from one of your songs?
Yeah, for there's an organization in Guyana. It's called SASAD. And what they're doing, they're just trying to create an environment, a safe environment for LGBTQ people in Guyana. And so the proceeds of Gay Warrior Song, I'm sending all the proceeds to them to just help them do what they're doing. Because it's hard work. I mean, we live here, we don't realize how many advantages we enjoy being here. In Guyana, it's tough. It's tough for them down there. But they're doing it. Hats off to them.
Yes, that's amazing. And what you're doing is amazing too. Not many people walk away and give back. People talk about it, but they don't necessarily, quote unquote, be about it. So, but I would expect nothing less of you because of your sweet spirit.
Thank you.
You have such a sweet spirit, and it shines through.
But thank you, because you're doing great stuff. You're doing great work. You're doing this. You're helping promote artists.
You know what, Nhojj?
Music videos.
This is not about me. This is about you. It's about you, sweetie. So I want to thank you again for giving me your time.
Thank you.
If you ever get a chance, you hit me up. You know how to reach me.
Yep.
And let me know when you're ready to come to the basement, because that's where I spend most of my time.
I hear you.
So one last thing though, before we break this up, you're going to the OMAs in Vegas. They moved.
I am. Yeah, they moved.
So Deirdre told me, "Oh, you gotta come to Vegas." I'm like, I can't get to Vegas, but you're going and you're going to be performing.
Yeah, I'm performing. They have a pre-OMA concert, so I'm doing that.
And one last thing, how many awards are you up for this time?
I'm up for 6.
If he wasn't so sweet, I'd hate him. But you can't hate Nhojj. You gotta love on him. You just gotta love on him. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you too. We love each other. And we're out.
Baby, live your life. Live your life. Live your life. Live your life. Go on, baby, live your life. Live your life. Live your life. Go on, baby, live your life. Live your life. Live your life. Go on, baby, live your life. Live your life. Live your life. Go on, baby, live your life. Live your life. Live your life. Life's too short for spending time trapped in someone else's rhyme. And don't let that noise drown out your voice. Float on downstream, feel what life means. Find space to daily sing your song.
Hi, you're in the basement. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Is
okay.
it again?
Hi, my name is Nhojj, and I'm in the
I'm in
basement.
the basement with JaVonne.
There you go.
Hi, this is Nhojj, and I'm in the basement with JaVonne. With JaVonne, I think you should come out of the basement because you have an incredible talent, incredible spirit, and the world needs to connect with it, needs to see it. So come on out of the basement.
Go on, baby, live your life. Live your life. Live your life. We're divinity in human form. We'll weather any storm. 'Cause life's problems teach us how to reach and open secret doors.
JaVonne, you've been in this basement for far too long. It's time for you to come visit us at Crack the Mic.